Live from New York. What's going on? It's not picking up the right video.
Oh, man.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah, that was...
Maybe I should have written a bit.
Damn it. See what happens when you do that. See what happens.
Oh, man. Do it again.
Wah, wah.
Try again.
You're live, pal.
Well, that went well.
This is what happens when you try to do a different open, Joe.
I didn't try to do a different open. I was going to do the normal open, but something was... No, that was something else. We didn't actually do it. See, if we tried to do a different opening, it might have actually worked out.
That's true. Possible.
So, well, I guess let's go back to what's worked for us in the past. Welcome to Taco and Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro, Tom Kokoza, and special guest co-host Brendan Johnston. Jen, this is the end of the first week of season 3. How are you feeling?
Good. So good, Joe, if I may say so myself. I'm really excited about this episode. I'm excited to be live on YouTube. This was a good one. We've gone through this week. It's going to be a little calmer after this, but still exciting. And I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah. Tom, you feeling the same? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I am. I this was really, to use Jen's word, this was a very exciting week. Chock full of stuff. I'm looking forward. This is like the 4th day in a row, I think, that I've been recording something. So 3 of these and something else. So I am looking forward to tomorrow and not talking to anybody. But other than that, I'm very excited to be here tonight because episode 3, I think we have a lot to say about.
Brendan.
I would also like to say I'm feeling so good, but I won't because every time I do say that phrase, I have to pay Jen. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm feeling good too.
How are you, Joe? I feel like we never asked you that.
I know, every once in a while somebody asks me, but I'm really good. Like I said, this is the end of the first week of the Wheel of Time season 3. 3 episodes. This is like the busiest week, and then it should calm down a bit. But I am very excited because, as you know, and as we were talking about yesterday when we recorded our episode 2 podcast, I had not seen episode 3 yet. So I was probably the only person, I feel like, who hadn't seen it yet. And I watched it last night, and boy, did I squee a bunch of times. So I am very excited to talk about this episode because if this wasn't fan service to book readers, I don't know what is, because there was a lot in there. So I'll remind everyone, the first part of this is going to be spoiler free since Brendan has not read the books. Those of you in chat, please do not put any spoilers past, I guess, book 3 or something that's already happened on the show. And then once Brendan will leave after we're done with our spoiler free chat, and then it's fair game for everybody. Wild, Wild West. So are we ready to get into this?
Yeah.
Jen? Take it away.
Here we go. Episode 303 is here, and so are we. Seeds of Shadow was written by Beverly Occhio and directed by Thomas Napper. We open on what we book fans like to call a Forsaken tea party. Gabriel is Ravine. Ravine is Gabriel. Gabriel is a Forsaken. Also, we meet Grumpy Samael, who mocks Lanfear for how much she loved Luce Theron. Lanfear warns them not to underestimate Moghedien, hiding somewhere out there in her shadows. Ravine says he'll speak to the others about all this, Grendel and Semiraj, who have not been invited to the party. When the others leave, Moghedien slinks out of her shadows to have a chat with Ravine. Hey, credits! In the tower, Black Aja, Joya, and Amico have been captured and stilled, and Nynaeve and Elaine have been ordered to get information from them where the others have failed. Newly accepted Elaine, that is. Shockingly, these two are not very forthcoming. They tell the girls that Leandrin and her crew went to Tyr, and also to Seldea to find the false dragon Mazrim Taim, but both can't be possible. In her room, Elaida's got the shakes, but her new servant Min is here to help her. Nynaeve takes Elaine to Leandrin's son's house and totally doesn't notice the gray man stalking them through the streets. She tells Elaine that Leandrin loved her son, but Nynaeve doesn't know that Lanfear murdered him. Under his bed, they find a strange symbol painted in chalk and salt. Elaida shows up to speak to the Amerlin and mocks Verin before asking for a private audience with Swan. Verin mocks her right back, and she and Leane tell her that only a sitter can ask for a private audience, so she heads to her Red Aja sisters to find one. She plies them with gifts, which they understand are bribes. But no, Elaida just wants the Reds to be as powerful as they used to be. Sutama, the highest Red, is not sure this is the right time after what Leandrin pulled. Elaida wants the Reds to send a contingent to find and cage Rand, and she's embarrassed that the Reds let themselves be locked out of the hall. In the Aiel Waste, Egwene finds out that she was the one who went into the Aiel woman's dream. The group comes upon water, a source of great contention in the Waste, aka the Threefold Land, and they find a caravan of dead Tuatha'an. They swear Aiel would never have killed them so dishonorably, but medical examiner Lan says these are spear wounds made to look like sword wounds. And the Aiel blame the Shido clan. A male Aiel, Ruark, agrees to stay and bury the Tinkers, but some of the other Aiel don't even think they're worth burying. Speaking of burials, Perrin has finally gotten a chance to visit his wife's burial spot, and he places his broken wedding ring there. Perrin's family are buried with seeds in their hands to grow apple blossom trees.
Graveyard. They stole my idea.
Let her finish.
Alana comes upon him and tells him how her family, mixes their loved one's ashes with water and wears them on their faces. She says she misses Yvonne more than any of the other warders she has lost, but it's hard to say who misses him more, she or Maxim. In the wine spring, Bane and Shiad are desperately trying to get someone to make out with them, but Loyal and Maxim are not biting. Maxim is too busy wiping Yvonne's blood on his sword blade. A group rides into town and they burst in before the others can hide and share the news that the White Cloaks have kidnapped Natty Cawthon and the girls, so at least we know where they are now. Some other Two Rivers folk recognize Perrin, and Marin introduces him to Lord Luke, a hunter for the Horn who'd been passing through, along with a young woman. White Cloak camp. Dane fills a mug with probably ale, and Valda is there too, and his right arm is still in a sling. I was really hoping it was his other arm. They have Natty and the girls caged, but Valda would love to put them to the question. Dane is still doing nothing wrong and refuses to let him do it. For now. He says if Perrin doesn't show up soon, he may change his mind. Natty says she'll die before anyone touches her girls, and thank God the Cawthons seem to have gotten their shit together in Matt's absence. Matt himself is waking up during another terrible night of voices in his head. Min bursts in again and lets him know she chose to help him over Ashamael removing her visions, then stalks out. Nynaeve and Elaine are researching the symbol and discover it is supposed to help a soul find its way back sooner. One is painted where the person died, and another will be where they were born, and it's native to Tanchico. They also take a look at the list of all the items the Black stole from the depository, and one of them looks suspiciously like a Shanchan Soldan bracelet. Tanchico happens to be near Fam, and they're putting pieces together just as a gray man fires a crossbow bolt that almost takes their heads off. Nynaeve tackles Elaine to the ground, but when they go after the man, he's dead in the hallway. Verin appears and tells them about how gray men give their souls for their abilities. Nynaeve is immediately suspicious of Verin, and they decide to leave for Tanchico tonight. Over in Tanchico, Leandrin and the Blacks strut through the marketplace with some amazing new outfits. They burst into a home and interrupt the wedding of a child bride to a man that Leandrin happens to remember the name of, the great-grandson of her husband, a.k.a. the man that assaulted and impregnated her when she was also a teen. Leandrin literally rips the man's heart from his chest, and the rest of the Blacks slaughter the wedding guests. Naomi wipes the bride's memories, maybe a little too well. This is their house now. Elaida tells Min she knows about her visions, and she also has foretellings. She once had a foretelling that the kingdom of Andor would be a key part of the last battle, so she allied herself with Morghese and helped her become queen. She also knows that Min was purposely placed as her servant by Verin and Leane, but she asks Min not to tell them that the Reds are planning to call a vote in the hall about sending sisters to cage Rand. In the waste, Egwene finds out she is a dream walker. She can enter Teleron Riyadh. The Aiel woman, Bear, asks her what she was running from in her dreams, and Egwene tells her about Rena. But if Egwene is actually sustaining wounds, then the person hurting her is alive. When they get to Rhuidean, Bear will teach Egwene how to protect herself. Rand is back in Teleron Riyadh with Lanfear, who says she's been selfish about wanting him to take Kalendor. If Rand can destroy the Dark One, Lanfear may be able to escape her Dark Odes. But the only way to do it is for a woman to use the Sarkarnan, another powerful Sa'angreal, at the same time as a man uses Kalendor. If they do this, they can live happily ever after, but Rand is not sure that's what he wants, and Lanfear disappears. Moraine and Lan are in a sweat tent with the Aiel, and even though there's a ton of nude people sitting around, Moraine needs to get information about Rhuidean. Men become chiefs and women become wise ones there, and Rand will have to go there too if he is the Karakarn. One of the Aiel women is giving Lan and Moraine eyes, but they're not sure which one of them she's interested in. Lan tries to get Moraine to just be with someone else, but this lady wants Lan, and he follows her after seeing the huge Malkieri tattoo across her back. After putting on clothes, of course. Her name is Melindra, and she is a Malkieri who was raised by the Aiel. She's ready to follow him into the Blight to take back their homeland, and she calls him Annalain. The two Rivers folk are gathering angrily. Some want Perrin to turn himself in, but Dace Congar stands up for him. You go, Dace Congar! The consensus is that they are going to protect him. The young woman with no name keeps staring at Perrin. Maxim asks Alana to turn off their bond. He hates that she feels nothing for Yvonne. But she is trying to feel nothing because she's feeling all of Maxim's pain. He wants to know why they are here instead of hunting down Leandrin. The young woman finally talks to Perrin in the common room. She's not with Luke, she's just looking for the Horn of Valir. Ever heard of it? He asks what her name is, and she says it's Mandarb, but Perrin laughs because that's the name of Lan's horse. How embarrassing. Mandarb doesn't think it's funny and walks away. Perrin tells Loial he is going to save Mat's family. Mat chases after Min and apologizes. She sees a vision of him hanging seemingly dead from the top of a red door frame, but he doesn't want to hear it. Galad walks up and pushes Mat away from Min like a very gallant gentleman would. Mat loves Galad. Leane visits the Red Aja to let Sutama know that she is to take 7 Red Sisters to Saldea to hunt down Mazrim Taim. Elaida doesn't love that idea and says as much, but Sutama leaves anyway to discuss with Swan. Elaida starts plotting with another Red Sister, Galena, about who will be replacing Sutama as the highest Red. In the Two Rivers, people are getting ready to go back to their farms for the night, but Perrin reminds them what the Trollocs did to them on Beltane. He asks them all to stay in the town together to give themselves a chance against the Trollocs. He's so bad at leading that everyone agrees. Mat is practicing with his bowstaff in the warder training gowns when the Trakan boys swing by to mess with him. Nynaeve shows up to tell Mat they're heading after Leandrin, but Mat isn't letting them leave without him. When Galad intervenes again on a lady's behalf, Mat speaks my favorite line of the season so far. Mate, have a day off. Galad doesn't care that Nynaeve doesn't need his help, and oh yeah, Gowan's there too. So Mat says he'll take them both on, and he does, and it's glorious. And the Trakans are handsome, but they couldn't have deserved this more. 2 marks indeed. Mandarb finds Perrin in the forge and asks him about the captured Cothans. New band name. She tells him he'll die if he goes after them. We finally get a real name. Aiel. A. Nynaeve, Elaine, and Mat head for a ship. Also Min, who's hooded and following them. Leandrin sobs as she is painting the second of those 2 symbols in the basement of her new, old, house, and thinking of her son, flashing back to when he was born. She goes upstairs when Naomi is studying that bracelet they took. Leandrin tells her this one is used to control a male channeler, and when they find the matching collar somewhere in Tanchico, they can collar the Dragon Reborn. One of their servants is listening intently as she walks past and eyes the bracelet. At least, they think she's a servant. We know her as Moghedien. Fiend.
End scene. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for that wonderful.
And that's our show.
Wonderful.
It should be.
Recap. All right. All right, let's get into it. Cold open. Bad guy meeting. Bad guy meeting.
I want to get right out in front of this.
Do it.
my thought process during the cold open was, oh, hey, it's Lord Gabriel. Oh no, it's not Lord Gabriel. It's some bad guy who looks a lot like Lord Gabriel. Why did they cast someone who looks so much like the guy who played Gabriel? That was stupid. And then 2 hours later, Jen explained it to me. And me too.
Oh my god! No.
Oh man.
There was even the
But
line
he
of,
talks about more gays.
yeah, well, she says you're like sleeping with a queen or something like that.
He's like, to
he
everyone,
said something about how they were only together for a relative, like,
Yeah, but everyone
says
who
to
meets
everyone
us,
thinks we've been hopelessly in love for a decade.
Yeah, this was my contention of mine.
but he's known Elaine for however long.
Has he?
Oh,
he has something that he's doing compulsion to everybody who meets him.
so he's evil Falstaff,
he's even
Yeah.
Falstaff.
the worst kind.
So Brendan, that's why Leane didn't like. It took her a minute. She was like, "Wait, who are you?" And then she's like, "Oh,
Right,
Lord
okay.
Gabriel." And then when Elaine first meets him in that third episode, she kind of looks for a second like she's not sure. Like Paul hesitates for a second before she says like hello to him because he's been doing magics on them.
As we discussed yesterday, I was very cynical and snarky about Lord Gabriel. And I so far could not have been more wrong.
It's good that the show can surprise you in a good way.
Surprised me so much that I get it wrong until we talk about it.
I thought your reaction was because I was doing a bit from Ace Ventura, but it was because you were realizing that what I was actually saying. You were like,
For him, it was the end of The Usual Suspects. He was putting all the pieces together.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to take a little moment to relish how awesome Samael is in his few lines. But for him,
he does have a really good line.
Yeah, you can like when he says something about like you like how quickly you would lay down if he said
the word rug.
Yes.
And he hits rug in as derogatory a way as you could possibly say that word.
Yes.
And it's like,
he makes rug sound like it should have been bleeped out.
Yes. Like it was, he made it sound like it was much worse than the word rug. That's for sure.
My first note on this episode, I swear to God, is Ravine looks enough like Gabriel that it's annoying. That's how much I wrote it down.
That's great.
Oh man,
I love how Lanfear gets right back at Samael. She's like, "Well, he's gonna come for you first because you're the weakest."
Right.
So good.
Yeah, this was unexpected, right? This is what the book readers affectionately call a Forsaken tea party. There's multiple ones of these throughout the series, and they're always so much fun because you don't really get too many meetings. Go ahead.
There's a good comment in chat. Gentle Giant said, Gabriel even compulsed Brendan through the TV.
Sorry, I can't. My chat highlight isn't working because, as you can see, so I can't put up the chat. I'll have to figure that out. I should have tested it beforehand.
That's funny.
I feel like we briefly got into this last season. He compelled me. Compulsed isn't a word.
All right.
It's a word for me now. I told you it's going to be in the lexicon. And I'm going to continue to say it. But yeah, this was great, right? So we got a new Forsaken. Well, two new Forsaken technically, but one brand new person we haven't even seen yet, Samael, who's got some interesting costuming going on there. I feel like we might want to talk a little bit about that in the spoiler part of the episode. But then there's mention of two other Forsaken that Lanfear didn't invite to the party. They're going to be pissed. This is like a Mean Girls thing or something going on here. Grendel and and they said Semirog, right? He said Semirog. They're going with the hard G sound.
I don't know.
As opposed to the soft G. I think it was a hard G.
I don't know.
I thought it was a soft G, but we cannot go by me for this scene.
Yeah,
I thought it was a soft G as well.
Okay,
but, yeah.
Well, that's good.
I have to hear a name pronounced differently like 3 times before I change my pronunciation.
Yes, so we've got 7 Forsaken now that we've identified, and we're pretty sure that there's 8. So there's an 8th one missing. So that's interesting. Talk about that a little bit later too. But we get some new thing, right? We get some interesting things like Nablus, right? Which, Brendan, I know you've heard Nablus before because you met Nablus
Because he's a guy who I met. That's the extent of it. Yeah.
Yes. So Nameless is like the the dark, like the right hand person of the Dark One. Like the Dark One names you Nameless, and like you're, I don't know.
Apparently, you get to talk directly to the Dark One if you have that title.
Yeah.
Got it.
Technically, the other Forsaken are supposed to kind of listen to you. And that's what Ishamael was, but since he's been dead, there is no other one. So that's what they were talking a little bit about there. And yeah, it's so I guess Lanfear's trying to manipulate them. She's trying to team up with them. We're going to get a bad guy team up. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, but it looks like Ravine and Moghedien are already teaming up.
Yeah.
Perhaps in the sheets. I'm not really sure. That seemed a very intimate touch.
Really?
I didn't get that.
It was he gave her the two-hander, right? He gave her Rand's
Randall Thor's move.
Thor's move.
Maybe he's Demandred. And he mentioned the other two female Forsaken that he's apparently been chatting with. So he's got a lot of other things going on. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to get to meet those other two ladies this season.
Hope so. Maybe we have.
That's true. We might have.
Think about it.
Yeah. So they're trying to make Lanfear's trying to turn them all against Moghedien because I guess she's a bit afraid of Moghedien.
Yeah.
And then we learned, like you said, Moghedien was there the whole time and heard the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then opening credits.
I feel like Moghedien was there the whole time is going to be a recurring theme of the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, her whole thing is she's softly from the shadows. So that's going to probably be a continuing theme throughout the season or series. Jen, opening credits. This was the first time we got the opening credits this season, right?
Yes, it was.
What a weird, episode 3. I don't know. That's just weird to me.
Is it like if they have time and the episode's like a little short, they'll throw it in? Or?
No, this was a longer episode.
Was it?
Oh, this is an hour 5. So I don't know. Maybe they felt like
the first 2 episodes were just all cold open to the season. They were the season cold open.
Oh, they had your title cards. I almost feel like they felt like this was a important enough scene, your first real glimpse at what the new dynamic of villainy is on this show, to put a long break in between that and the episode that follows. And I do think the reveal for most of us of Gabriel being Ravine, kind of fed into the increasing sense of paranoia that happens over the course of the show, at least in some of the storylines. Right? There's a real sense of no one can be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even the bad guys, they can't trust each other.
They think about
who would have thunk?
And not even is this just a new person it's a new person that popped up for us. And it is a new person that popped up. Literally. But they would never think that this person is a Forsaken because they've known him for so long.
Right.
It's great. It's really scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be when you just think about it. It's I don't know.
So I just, as we were going into it, just so that you don't feel bad, Brenda, I watched this with my wife, yesterday after we had recorded, and she didn't get it at first, but got it by the end of the scene, but then had a ton of questions about how does this work? And I was like, anybody who could possibly do anything about the situation that he is in, he is going to trick. And anybody who is meaningless to him, he doesn't care. If some peasant out in the street goes, who the heck is Lord Gabriel? Right? But what does that matter to him?
Who cares? Right.
Right? If that guy gets the ear of somebody that can actually threaten him, that person's going to be like, I know Lord Gabriel. He's been there for 10 years. What's wrong with him?
Well, that answered my question, right? Because he says everyone he meets or who he comes in contact with. So, but I guess that number just grows and grows and grows as he comes in contact with more people.
This is the first time probably Elaine has ever seen that man.
Right.
Yes, it is probably the first time.
And everyone in the tower, everybody.
It's a lot of people for sure.
Swan's oh, I'm so happy to see you. So such a pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crazy. All right, so we've got I got 4 different storylines kind of going in this episode, so I guess we'll take storyline by storyline. Do we want the largest storyline is probably the White Tower, so maybe we'll tackle that one first.
All right.
Sure.
Once again, the largest storyline. I mean, there's a lot of people there, though. I guess that's why, and they're all doing different things as opposed to the other storylines.
There's multiple storylines in the tower, really.
Yeah. So I got about 3 main storylines. We've got Nynaeve and Elaine. That's one of the big storylines. So we find out that those 2 Aes Sedai, that Swan, whacked while during the Black Aja's escape, they were captured. And they were trying to interrogate them, but haven't gotten any information from them. So they're like, why don't you 2 try? And Elaine's like, yeah, we can lie. Because we're not Aes Sedai. I was waiting for one of them to say, like, we can hurt them because we haven't sworn the oaths. But they didn't say that. That would have been a cool opportunity to say that. So then they're getting different stories, right? Joya says they're going to Saldaea to find Mazrim Taim. And Emiko says they went to Tyr to help the Forsaken get Kalendor. And one cool thing that we learned that they put into this, which I was very excited because this is something from the books, right? Emiko talks about hearts.
Yeah.
So all the Black Aja are kind of grouped in hearts, which are 3 people who know each other and know that they're Black Aja, and then they all also know one other person in another heart. So they don't know who all the Black Aja are. So there's that plausible deniability there.
Since this is coming up early, I just want to, because this is a recurring thing throughout this episode, and I don't want to be saying it every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. There is so much fantasy techno babble in this episode, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just a thing. It like to the point where I almost felt like the show was like almost doing it as a bit. But I don't think they were. But like there was so much of it, it felt like watching like a parody of something like this.
Yeah, they introduce a lot here. There's a lot of like,
which is why when you said before we started that this was a very book reader fan service episode, I said very sarcastically, "Really?"
Yeah. That's interesting so that's why I was very interested in getting your opinion because of that. And I watched it with my wife just before, and we did pause it a couple of times, and I did have to explain a couple of things. But not some of the in the beginning, some of the technical stuff, but yeah. This is the place though, Brendan, to ask questions, and we can answer what we can, and we will.
I mean, I largely understood most of it, and what I didn't understand, I'm sure I'll find out as you just abbreviated.
Yeah. So right, they go to Nynaeve's like, well, let's go to Leandrin's home. Maybe there's some clues there. As you said before, Jen, they find that symbol under the bed. So they say, well, we got to go search out and find out what the symbol is. They find out that it's like a birth and death symbol, like they put it where somebody's born, and then they put the other one where somebody dies, and they see it's Tanchico. It's like a Tanchico thing. So they're like, oh, maybe Leandrin's from Tanchico, which I feel like you could have just asked somebody in the White Tower and they would have told you that. It wasn't like you didn't need to go through this whole kind of, mystery Scooby Gang's, quest. It wasn't really a quest, but right. I was like, why?
First of all, this is not a Scooby Gang. This is a Law and Order.
That's true.
Yeah.
They put Nynaeve and Elaine in a police procedural for this episode, which is fine. But the second thing is they can't ask anybody in the White Tower anything because everybody in the White Tower is potentially a dark friend.
Right.
Is potentially Black Aja. That's the whole that's the whole reason they made Nynaeve and Elaine wizard cops.
That's right.
Because they were kidnapped by the Black Aja, so they're definitely not part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point, brother. Like, even asking the question, if they even if they get the truth, that could still tip somebody off. That could tip Leandrin off to that someone's on her trail. So, yeah. And I also think like, it's not necessarily about like, oh, she probably just went home. It's like, we found this thing that directly indicates she's probably going to where her child was born. Right? Like that I think is more where their head is at. With the fact, I do like their, like, if they're both lying to us about these things, then we have to just assume every single thing that they said is a lie. Like it was a well done piece of deduction to get to, like, what are they trying to distract us from? Let's look at that instead. It was well done. I also liked Amiko's fake crying.
Yeah.
She was doing a good job with
that. So we got a bunch of other stuff with them. So they find out the birth and death scene. They start looking at the different items that were stolen that Perrin was cataloging, and then they find this one that they say, "Hey, this looks kind of like an Adom," and think that they're probably going to Tanchico to find the other part, the collar part of it. So then something weird happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get attacked again by like Nynaeve's just getting attacked by gray men, like left and right. Elaine, shoots something at it with the one power as it's running out, and then they go out to check, and it is dead, but not from what Elaine did. From a dagger.
Stabbed. Mm-hmm.
Stabbed. Perrin shows up, and Nynaeve's immediately like, whoa, something's up with Perrin, because she didn't even ask who stabbed the thing.
Right.
Perrin comes walking around a corner reading a book and does the takiest take at the gray man. Like, oh my, like this,
my word.
Like, before Nynaeve said a word, like, well, obviously Perrin stabbed him.
So,
and then put her knife in her book and went back around the corner.
Anyway, these are my quarters.
So, I bet if someone zoomed in, they would see that book is upside down.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's a good check. I was saying, so again, like in talking about this with my wife, like when we got to this point, this is the part that I was talking about where like the paranoia is intensifying, because now they don't trust people that you as an audience member probably should trust. Like Perrin did a lot of stuff in season 2 that strongly indicates that she's a good guy. But yeah, like Swan says in the beginning, she doesn't even trust Lyanna. Like that's like the level of like nobody is above suspicion. And like, yeah, that's like, yeah, she didn't ask that, but also like, is that like, why is that the first thing she should ask? Like, I don't know. I found that very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird too, because she's immediately suspicious of her. And she's like, well, this is the Brown Aja quarters, jackass. That's why I'm here. Like, this is where we all
This
live.
is where I live here.
Yes.
Where my room
for the weirdest part was I thought they were in Perrin's room. So when she asked her, why are you here? I was like, well, you're in her room, but apparently it wasn't her room. But, I guess I misunderstood that part there.
Yeah,
so.
they said like they were cataloging the stuff, but I guess it's not. I guess it's in a general Brown Aja study, not her own room.
Yeah. So
yeah.
No, I was just gonna say. So they're like, Nynaeve's like, well, we got to get out of here because I don't trust anybody here anymore, and we think Leandrin's in Tanchico, and I hate, but also kind of like Leandrin. So, but we also gotta stop them because they're gonna do something really bad. I'm gonna break from their story for a little bit because they meet up with Matt. So I'm gonna jump over to Matt, and then we can kind of connect the two.
Do you want to go to do you want to go to
Elaida?
Elaida first, and then like everyone ties in at the end?
Sure, let's do it. All right. Elaida's got a shaky hand. Not sure what that's about. And Min's been placed as her servant to spy on Elaida. But Elaida's too smart for that and gives her, basically tells her, hey, I'm going to tell you something. Please don't tell them.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't show Min going immediately to them, but you're able to figure it out later.
Yeah.
So she goes and meets with the other Reds, and she's trying to ply them with gifts. We learn that Sutama's like the head of the Red Aja, the highest, and she doesn't seem to like Elaida, but the other one, Galena, is like a little bit of iffy. And Elaida's trying to basically play them and try to get them to do what she wants. And I mean, she eventually succeeds. So I guess,
she?
Well, yeah, because she
succeeds in.
Go ahead.
Well, so I didn't get what I think the plot was. I didn't get literally until I was writing the recap. And then I went, oh, this whole thing. I don't know if it was the same plot she started with, but she got what she wanted. She didn't get them to do what she asked them to do in the beginning, but I don't think she wanted them to do that. Like actually call that vote in the hall. I don't think that she ever wanted them to do that.
No? So what do you think she's playing at?
I think she wanted Swan to think they were going to do that. So before they could, she sends them away so that Elaida can be the sitter in the hall or be the highest Red. So that's what she tells Min. Oh, they're going to plan on doing this. So Min tells Swan this is going to happen. And Swan's like, oh, before they can call this vote. Because if they call the vote, it's like
why
too
wouldn't
late.
she have just told Min first? Why would she even go to the other ones then? The Reds.
That's the only part of it I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think so. I think she wants the Reds to do that. And since she can't because she's not a sitter and Sutama won't, she's like, well, I got to get rid of Sutama so I can become a sitter or whatever, so I can get in the hall and propose this vote. That's what I think is going on.
I do think she walked in there the first time going like, okay, I'm going to be nice. And then I'm going to ask them to do what I want. And if that didn't work, so now I'm going to be like, well, if you took my job, I'm going to take it back. Right?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I mean, it worked. Whatever it is, she's got what she wanted, which is Sutama leaving. But I don't know.
Sutama leaving, who I feel like is one of the other few Aes Sedai that you could be comfortable is probably not Black Aja.
I like her. I'm just not sure.
Like she fought them. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. They did attack her. And all three of them, they attacked all three of the sitter. Well, no, the one sitter just disappeared.
Right. And one got knocked right out. Well, I guess she got attacked too, right? That's that was Galena the one that got knocked down?
Yes, she was the one that got knocked down. So I'm suspicious of the one who disappeared out of the frame.
Yeah.
You know what? When I was watching episode 1 again, I have a new theory about that third Red. She's noticeably shorter than the other two. I think she's just out of the frame. I think she's there the whole time. She's just
literally
underneath.
You can't see her. Yeah. Possible. But yeah, I think it's when that all happened, I'm like, oh, Sutama leaving the tower is probably bad for a number of reasons.
Yeah, probably. I just thought when she first goes to the Reds little clubhouse, I thought it was hilarious that they had earlier mentioned another false dragon out there somewhere. And here's all the most important Reds just day drinking, just like chilling, just in their sorority house or whatever they call, whatever the room is called that they hang out in, and just hanging out. And then coming up later.
That's a great point, Brendan, because if they knew that there was a false dragon out there. Why are they all just hanging? Like, why haven't any of the sisters? I mean, they went after Logain, right? That was the first season.
And Taim's been loose since season 2. Like, they mentioned him in season 2.
Yeah,
being out there.
So yeah, I guess poor action on their part. Like you said, day drinking. I guess their priorities are misaligned. And who knows? Maybe that's why Elaida's like, "What the hell? You guys are all sleeping over here on the job. Like, get your shit together. We got to start doing some things." The dragons were born. It's false dragons out there.
Elaida very quickly and unexpectedly, honestly, I was surprised by the end of the episode because I was like, "Oh, she very quickly became like a new favorite character for me."
Ah, interesting.
She's a very interesting. We didn't really talk about this. Like, she talks to Min about how she also has visions, and she had a vision that the queen of the queen of Andor would be an integral part of the last battle.
Mm-hmm.
So she 100% knows that's going to happen. So she went to Andor and got herself made advisor to the Queen of Andor so she could turn this thing that she already knew was going to happen to her advantage. And that's like turning a prophecy into a conspiracy is 100% a villain thing. Like, she's straight up evil. But so far, she is technically 100% aligned with the good side of things.
Yeah. Right. She's not like, she wants to. It's like she wants to make sure that like the right person is there, right? You know, whatever.
I mean, she wants to do it in a way that we think is kind of messed up,
right?
But like it goes beyond thinking, like, because this show has a lot of villains who do evil things, but know they're evil and think they're justified. This is someone who's doing a flat out evil thing and thinks she's the hero,
right? Yeah, I think you're
and that's fascinating.
So like the equivalent of the White Cloaks or White Cloak, right? Think they're doing the right thing.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Iman Valda is like, he's like, why don't I just torture these children?
I mean, the White Cloaks in general, like as an organization, kind of.
Yeah, maybe.
A little bit.
I like that though, Brendan. I think that's a good take on her, and I feel like almost in response to our comments and in our review of episode 2, like, when is Min gonna start to actually be somebody who's involved in things and not just kind of hanging around? Like, she seems to have gotten herself a mentor who's like, hey, you have this stuff. It's not like
she's.
I mean, they had one scene together, and now she left. I don't think she's like.
Well, two scenes together, but.
Okay. But one. I'm
gonna say this, right? Like, jumping ahead a little bit to the last scene with Min in the tower, right? I think Min follows them because Min's gonna try and, again, I stole this from somebody. I don't remember who, and I apologize if you're listening right now, but I thought it was so good. That Min's like, I saw that vision of Matt hanging somewhere, and I'm going to cut him down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she's going after them. Like, she's going to try and make up to him what she did to him.
Because Elaida said,
"Yeah,
we're seers, we're not watchers." That was a good line.
Yeah.
So I think this is the start of a more proactive turn for that character.
Yeah, it was reminding me of like Tyrion and Bran, where he's like, use your weakness as wear it as a shield or your disability or whatever. So I got that kind of vibe from it.
Joe, you're having some internet issues, man. I don't know if you can tell somebody to get off the Wi-Fi or whatever, but you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. don't know what it is.
No, I'm just letting you know. Like, it's not bad, but that last thing about Tyrion and Bran, I don't know what the point was.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just broke up a little bit, man. But
okay.
It's the second or third time it happened.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the. I guess the internet's a little funky, but I don't know. Is it lagging
I thought you were
bad?
talking about the show. It's fine now.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It was just quick, but I was just letting you know.
But it was a recurring thing
Yeah, sorry about
that
that.
I assumed you knew about, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Where were we?
I don't remember.
We had just
Min,
this
right.
scene. Yeah, we're doing Elaida's whole storyline, which I guess we kind of pretty much got through, right?
Also, I kept waiting for Elaida to ask somebody where Harvey Dent was.
Oh,
She's just got a very deep
very deep voice. Yeah. There is something in the scene. There's something in the scene with Elaida and Min that I want to get back to in the back half of the episode.
Mm-hmm. So basically, right, Lyanna shows up like we said, right? And there's the whole thing where she sent the Armerlin's sending Sutama with some other Reds to go get Mazrim Taim, as we said. Any other thoughts about Elaida and that whole story, or you want to jump over to Matt now?
I think we're good. I'll say this. I think that as I was watching it again, like I'm like, here's another example of Swan not being particularly good at her job because she should have sent Sutama and Elaida on the mission and like actually gotten rid of her problem. But it's Swan.
All right. Jumping over to Matt. It's basically a few scenes with him and Min, right? Min's trying to apologize. Matt's having none of it. Then she gets mad at him.
Matt looks in his pockets. Right? When he goes, "Oh, do you want to thank you? Oh, I'm all out of thank yous."
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, and then Min has a viewing of Matt hanging. Not looking good for Matt.
Which is the past.
Yeah, right. He saw himself hanging in season 2.
That's one of his past lives. That is what she's
Yeah,
seeing.
but her visions are of the future.
It's the same shot.
Well, it might be the same shot, but we've unless they're changing it, and but as far as we know, her vision that she said last episode that her visions are of the future.
So either
I get it, but also she kind of also says she doesn't 100% understand her visions. So
right. And I would also say, like, somebody who's nicknamed the father of lies gave Matt that juice, and who knows if that only shows him his past lives and not other shit.
It wasn't juice, it was tea.
Yeah, it was a root. It was tea. It was a ginger root, whatever. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot there, but that did look a very similar shot. I don't know if it was I didn't compare it, but yeah.
No, neither did I, but
yeah. It was him hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, in like a big doorway or whatever, or
yeah.
And, and then Galad, is like,
whew.
I mean, from Galad's point of view, here's some guy accosting a woman. She's saying,
"Do you need help?" Did he ask her if she needs help?
He doesn't do that.
Right. He's going to help you whether you like it or not.
That's well, I mean, look, we said in episode 2 that everyone was talking about how annoying Galad is,
right.
And we did, and now I guess you get to see what that means.
Yes. Phew.
So Matt's dying, I guess, right? Is that what's going to happen? Just like Rand was going to die, right in the second season.
Well, hanging doesn't mean hung. It could be very quick, the rope could break. Who knows?
Also, I stand by that. It already happened. That's not like I honestly think we're going to find out that Min's visions are not what she thinks they are, or they are specifically all out of whack when she's looking at Matt because of Matt's status as the whatever he is, a Time Lord, a Highlander, whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a name for what's going on with him.
Yeah. A hawk man.
Right. Well, yes, because he his future could be him being in his past lives or whatever it is. Who knows, right? What you call it?
Well,
yeah. All right.
And then Matt, it really, I know this isn't what it is, but when he faces off with the Trakan boys, it really makes it seem like all of Matt's problems can be solved by saying his special magic phrase.
Yeah.
That's like
I know
that's
not.
Power,
I know
right?
that's not what it is. I know that's not what it is. But that's kind of how it made it seem.
That's how it made me feel.
Yeah, that's that activates his powers. He has to say that phrase.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Shazam.
So
exactly.
This isn't. I don't consider this a spoiler, right? This is something in the old tongue, and the old tongue has translations out there or whatever. But that phrase roughly translates to "it's time to toss the dice," which really does mean almost well, I hope my powers are on because I'm gonna try and use them, right? And what you call it? I was glad that the Trakan Damodred boys, because if you look at the credits, Galad's last name is Damodred, not Trakan. That they're extra douchey when they come in.
Well, wait, they have him as Damodred in the credits?
Yes, they do.
But they keep saying Trakand in the show.
Say it again.
What?
Trakand.
Say that again.
Trakand.
They call him.
I don't know.
Well, he's from House
that
Trakan.
No,
always say Trakan. I hate it's Trakan. He's Galad of House Trakan.
Yeah, but he's Galad Damodred.
Galad Damodred. Let's just leave it at that for now.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess that explains why I get in the opening scene, Queen Morghese is younger than 20 and has a 4 or 5 year old kid. That's she wasn't in her own Leontian situation. That's presumably not her kid.
Oh no! Is he another shitty nephew of Morin's?
No.
No, to be funny,
possibly.
Okay.
Well, that would be funny if Gowan was, because he has a similar hairstyle as his other nephew. So,
but
sure,
yeah,
yeah. So they come in, they're for no reason making fun of him because
they're
he's
just
straight,
being assholes,
right? And what you call it? I did there's a huge contrast between their sparring session in front of scores screaming fangirls, and he just whoops their ass in private. It's not it's just the three of them and Nynaeve. No,
Nynaeve loves it.
You can tell she's nervous at first, and she's just getting happier and happier as it goes on.
Which is not the normal state of affairs for Nynaeve. So
it's true. Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought it was a well done, well choreographed fight scene.
But also, Matt wins this fight against two guys who he probably shouldn't have won a fight against, and knows he's going off on a mission, and just throws his weapon away. Hold on to something. Stop. Just.
He could just pick up anything off the ground.
I guess, but
just borrow somebody's broom like Jackie Chan.
Dan was like, "What is going on right now? He could fight." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess, kind of." But
he fought at the end of season 2. It's not like
But that was like
after he said his magic worked.
Yes, I don't.
He's got the muscle memory now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, But in the book, like he just kind of knows how to fight.
Yeah, he's used a quarterstaff.
Yeah.
Before which he presumably has. Like Rand uses a bow and arrow.
Yeah, but not like I don't know. Whatever. Again,
I mean, it's a simple weapon in the handbook. You don't need to be trained.
That's true.
Yeah.
You don't need the feats.
Anyone could do it.
I mean, he was doing a lot of very cool behind the back whoop your ass stuff. I did even appreciate Gowan's comic fall back to the ground. It's just like
Gowan kind of gives up. Like Gowan knows he's beat, and Galad pushes it and gets beat a little more.
Yeah. The only thing I was like a little surprised by or a little taken, I didn't mind the whole fight, but like he knocks at the end, he knocks Galad's sword out of his hand and then like drives him with his own strength into the wall. And I'm like, that dude's much bigger than you. Like, I don't care how super trained you are for memories or whatever. Like, I don't know, but that's all right. He's probably had the wind knocked out of him a few times.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say this, like that scene was over. And, again, my son was like, get your money. Yeah. Like he didn't get the money for it, but like
they're good for it.
Yeah. In the next scene, I was like, oh, he's clearly stealing these apples from this guy.
Nobody left money.
Then he pays them. And I think that's that's showing you that he got the money from them.
Oh,
didn't even notice that he didn't get the money.
Yeah.
That's another trademark Wheel of Time hiding something important in a cut. Because in order to have gotten that money, because he left without getting the money.
Right.
So he had to leave, come back,
knock on their door,
get them to pay him.
Well, I will say
then go to the boat. And I'm not saying I wanted to see that, but
I would not be surprised if Captain Woman's Champion Galad is like, no, I must give him his marks.
Yeah, Galad would make sure he delivered the money.
He's like, yes, before you leave on your secret mission that I'm not supposed to hear about.
Yeah, on that subject, I thought for sure that the Tucan boys were going to be getting on the boat too.
Oh,
because Nynaeve's just telling Matt where they're going and who they're going with, and her two older brothers who are there to protect them, who are there to protect her theoretically, are 5 feet away.
She was show whispering. They weren't in frame; they can't hear her.
I understand,
right?
But
no, they didn't hear.
Yeah, and like, really, folks. Just last episode, the Queen said, like, if anything else happens to her, I'm coming back with an army. And she's like, I'm going to. All right.
Well, Elaine doesn't know that she said that.
It's true. And Swan doesn't know she's leaving. So
right.
No. Just after she got reamed out, Swan, for letting Elaine get kidnapped.
She shouldn't have gave her that accepted ring.
Yep. But Matt goes this time, right? Like this is right. He makes the right decision. He's like, I'm not, I'm going with you. Not like when he left Elaine there crying all by herself. Egwene, sorry. I mean, he did walk.
All of them.
He doesn't like.
Yeah. To be honest, though, he wanted to go with Rand in season 2. But Min was like, no, you can't go. So I guess it's consistent with that. But yeah, so they're all going off to Tanchico. What a lot of fun they're all going to have.
Definitely.
And I guess Min's going to stow away on the boat or something like that. Not sure what that's going to happen. What's going to happen there? But all right, that concludes the White Tower segment.
Hey.
Want to go over to Want to go over to the 2 rivers?
Sure, let's go to the 2 rivers.
Sure.
All right. I don't know how it's going there with the internet, but
you're good. You've been fine since I
said it's been better.
Okay. Let me know if
your internet.
Yeah, you must have. Let me know if it gets bad again, and I'm gonna have to like restart the stream. But All right, so we get this whole thing with Perrin visiting Layla's grave or grove. A lot, yeah. This whole thing where a lot is like, this was the Ash thing that we were talking about in last episode, right? This was like a whole thing in the last episode, which was kind of spoiled, not spoiled, because it wasn't really anything super big or spoilery. But yeah, they make makeup out of dead people.
Interesting takeaway.
Yeah, that's what.
Interesting takeaway.
Yeah, makeup out of dead people.
I mean, they're not using their ashes anymore, so.
No, that's good.
What you do? Put it in a pot on a shelf?
I don't know. Bury it in the ground and grow a tree, an apple blossom.
I love that. I love that. That idea.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, Natty. So this makes me think even more. Right, Natty and the Cawthons girls have been kidnapped. This makes me think even more that we're not getting Tam and Abel and Bran in this season.
Yeah.
But I like this whole thing about Perrin's gonna go, right? This is gonna be happening in episode or 2, right? Perrin's going to rescue them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's made it clear. That's what he's gonna do.
He says it flat out, yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna. I mean,
he also said he was going to turn himself in, and that didn't happen. So,
well, let's talk about that. Right?
I liked her. Like, I've never seen someone try to turn themselves in and fail.
Yes. By the way, I'm calling her Dracula Girl because I'm getting Dracula vibes from her.
Yeah.
With the accent and the look. So, I might be referring
she does have
to
that
her
kind of accent, like a vampire accent.
Yeah, I'm going to refer to her as Dracula Girl for a little bit here. So
she's Italian.
To whom are you referring?
She's Australian. The actress.
She does not have an Italian accent. She has like a country that
Transylvanian accent.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that's Transylvania. Maybe, I guess, I don't know.
A bit. I get a bit of that for her.
All right.
Eastern European type. Go ahead. What?
Yeah.
You guys were so excited about Aiel showing up, and now you're like, I'm going to call her something different.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I was getting Dracula vibes from her.
If you call her anything, call her Mandarb. It's great.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's from the books.
Before we move on from the graveyard scene, and I want to say this because I'm usually very hard on Perrin, with good reason, but this is something that the show now does on a regular basis, and it has scenes that I feel like I shouldn't be watching because it's too real and too intimate. And it wasn't as much as some of the other ones, but these are very personal things these people are talking about. I shouldn't be hearing it. So they did my point being, those two did a very good job in that scene.
There is there's, as part of the features in Prime Video for the show, they have like a little actors roundtable after every episode where Rafe and 4 of the actors of the show kind of just talk about the show and the themes and things that they were thinking. It was really interesting. It's quick. It's like they're each like 4 or 5 minutes. So this one in particular, Perrin, Marcus talks about that, and he's like, all the battle and the fighting and death and all the rest of stuff. It's very much what you would expect. That's in every kind of fantasy thing. But he's like, one of the things that I really like about this is that like Perrin is a character who deals with the consequences of those actions and like is very aware of the ripple effects of warfare and fighting and violence. And like, he's very excited about like the fact that like he gets to play a character who, understands the cost of being on a fantasy show, kind of, or whatever. And I think that is something I genuinely like. Like, it's not like, I think he understands that violence is something that may be necessary, but he also understands that like it doesn't end with the fight. And I think that like he he's dealing with that a lot throughout this whole episode. There's one other thing in there that I thought was really good is that Perrin is somebody who's consistently looking down because generally he's bigger than almost everybody else. And he's also like dealing with a lot of stuff and he's kind of internalized. But the blocking of that scene that we were talking about when like, when Fail comes up to him and makes fun of him for not being able to turn himself in, and then he makes fun of her because of her fake name. He's sitting down and she's standing up and he's looking up at her. And it's really the first conversation that he has on the show with somebody where that's the eye line where he's the entire conversation.
I'm going to restart the stream because they said it's getting really bad. I'm going to adjust the setting too. That should help. Okay. So bear with us all. All right. Sorry, everyone. I guess I'll have to figure out what the hell's going on.
You're watching.
Mary Catherine.
Do not smell your hands.
All right.
I'm peeing out, man.
Two Rivers. Where were we? Tom, where were we?
All right. So I'm just going to go back to the point I was making before. I don't know when or if anybody heard anything that we were talking about, but there were two things that came out of like their little after show roundtable that they have as an extra in on Prime Video that Marcus was talking about with this episode that I thought were interesting. One was to Brendan's point about the intimacy of like that first scene and like just kind of like Perrin's vibe in here about like how Perrin is somebody who like almost understands like, hey, I'm in this kind of a story. I'm going to fight people and I'm probably going to kill people. And that's probably going to be necessary. But he's also someone who understands like the ripple effects of that violence and that every time that happens, like it doesn't end with that event, which I think is, which he thinks, and I agree, is an interesting character to play in a world like this. The other thing is that because Marcus is a very tall person, most of the time when he's talking to people, he's looking down to them. And because of like the way the character has been and all the like the guilt and trauma that he's been carrying, he's very internalized. So his eyes are usually downcast. And when he's talking with Fael in that first time, when Fael has like the Mandar conversation, whatever, he's sitting and she's standing and he's looking up to her the entire time. And that's really the first conversation like he's had like that in the show. And it's I thought that was very an interesting dynamic. That's the quick abbreviated version of what I was saying when we got interrupted.
That's right, folks. That was the abbreviated version.
I was thinking of the same thing, Brendan.
It was.
Dane doesn't seem to be doing too well, I don't think. As is probably expected of somebody whose father was murdered a month ago.
Just because he's day drinking while in charge of a military camp. I don't understand what your point is.
He's better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah,
that's true. I thought he was just going to be like Genghis Khanning his way through the two rivers.
Yeah, he's not.
He's keeping it like he's still in uniform. He's maintaining, he's following the rules.
Yeah, he even says like, I'm not going to hurt these people. Like,
right.
They're innocent, not for what Perrin did.
Yeah, exactly. Dane, not a villain. Oh, well.
Guys, I researched to make sure that he didn't have a sling on the other arm. I'm so upset. First of all, I'm upset that he didn't have two slings like we thought he might. But then I was like, oh, you know what? It would be really funny, but really subtle if he had a sling on his other arm from the wolf attack, but he doesn't. It's the same arm. So now I'm really thinking that it's from Egwene. Because she stabbed him up here, and maybe she severed something, so he has no use of this arm at all ever again because he won't get healed by an Aes Sedai. So I don't think Aviendha did it. I'm back to Egwene did it.
But he got bit by a wolf, Jen. Remember?
On the other arm.
Was it the other arm?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went back to the episode where the wolf attacks him to make sure, and the sling is on the same arm that it was on in season 2 before he got attacked by the wolf.
That's not a hopper wound.
No, it didn't switch. It's not like the first one healed and now he has another sling.
His arm has never healed, basically, from the original wound. I
think Egwene did it. I don't think Aviendha did it. Remember we were talking about that?
Yeah.
Because they said, like, somebody almost got his arm broken. I mean, it's not that long after. It's only like a month after like we last saw him wearing the sling. So it could be that it didn't heal yet, but I choose to believe Egwene like severed something in the top of his shoulder and he has no use of that arm.
I was very disappointed with Valda's appearance because it confirmed to me that the show does not view him in the same way that we do as a comic villain.
I think he's great. I love him. I was so excited to see him.
I agree with you, Brendan, but I also did not know where you were going with that. I thought you meant as the best villain, which I also think
he's also the best. He's also
like, why was he not on the poster? He's the best.
He's the
right?
best
Yeah. Why did they?
He's absolutely.
He won't be on.
We didn't even know he was going to be in this season, Valda. I mean,
I knew he.
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Well, we weren't
I knew
sure.
No, I didn't know in my mind. I knew in my heart.
I was very excited to see him there.
Yeah,
but like,
me too.
No, what I meant was like the show does not view him as an object of derision.
Yeah,
like, and he's not going to get an exoskeleton of slings. By
I really wanted him
just in RoboCast.
Yeah.
Both of his legs get attacked in these seasons, right? So there's still time. There's still time.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I like that he was there. I like that he, it's good to see that Dane's here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to.
And he's got reinforcements coming because I think now I think his plan is genuinely to fight the Trollocs as well. Well, he says that. He says like there's Trollocs here, like we need more, right? That he sent for more reinforcements because they're actually going to fight the Trollocs.
Yeah, and I think basically like he's called for more men. And like when they get there, he might not be able to get away with kidnapping random. Although they're the White Cloaks, they probably won't say anything. But like in his head, he's like, "But like we have to deal with this by the time they get here." So he's hoping that Perrin shows up before then.
Yeah, like was someone going to let Perrin know eventually that this was going on? Because if Perrin didn't just decide to go home, he wouldn't have even known about this.
I mean, I got the sense that it just started.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
Also, I don't think that they would want Perrin to know because they don't. I mean,
yeah, but the White Cloaks would just be like doing things to try to get him to come there, but he wouldn't ever know about it.
Well, I think eventually word would get to him. Because, I mean, eventually word would get to him, which is weird because I don't understand why they could have just had that as the reason Perrin goes back. But I guess they consciously wanted him to just make the decision. Out of it
makes more sense for where this story is clearly going, which is like, hey, you guys are leaders. I'm no leader. I'm just gonna go home, where I turn into a leader. So
I thought you were going to say werewolf.
He already turned into a werewolf.
A leader.
That was less.
No, he didn't.
Right. That's true. Like he was asked and answered specifically.
Can we talk a little bit about Alana being there and why she's there?
Before we move on to Perrin, I want to note one thing. Like earlier, how I said that they put Elaine and Nynaeve into a police procedural. Perrin and his group are now 100% in a Western.
Yes.
Which makes me very happy because if you're in a Western in this show, I'm pretty sure Tom Maryland's going to show up at some point. So
let's put a pin in that one.
Very exciting.
So Alana's here, right? We had this conversation yesterday, about this. And we were wondering why. I was hoping that I was going to find out why she was there this episode, but apparently I didn't, and nobody else seems to know either, not even Maxim. And it's all very hush-hush, and I'm very, very curious to find out why she's there and what the fuck is going on.
I love scenes like this where he's like, "Why are we here?" And then she just stares at him. And it cuts to a different scene, and she just walks out of the room.
Well, so that was my question.
they are having communication issues.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
So I guess my question for you, I had a question about that, which is like, does she answer him and we don't see it? Or does she just look at him awkwardly till he walks away?
I don't think she answers him.
I don't think so either.
I mean, yeah, I think that scene is just to make the viewers understand that she's keeping that there's something going on and she's not telling anybody about it. So it's got to be something big, I'm assuming.
You're still bringing it up, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's Saturday nights are no good here.
That's it.
Yeah.
Any theories? Any theories as to why she's here?
I don't know.
Because this is where some of the cameras are. This is because she's in the show, and this is part of where the show is. She's not an important enough character to have her own storyline, so she's got to be in Perrin's.
No, I know, but there's got to be then she would have just.
I'm joking.
That's why they're all there. But like, yeah, like, so thinking timeline wise, she had to like, Ivan's dead, and like, get your shit. Like, we're leaving. Like, there's really very little time because Perrin leaves early the next morning, and she's beating him there, right?
Yeah, I mean they say flat out in episode 2 that nobody saw Alana and Maxim after the battle.
Yeah,
the fight ended and they left.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is kind of where we end Perrin's storyline, right? It seems like he says he's going to rescue them. Fael's like, it's not going to go well. But she seems interested anyway. What are the odds? What do you think? Is Fael going with him to rescue the Cothans?
She seems rather interested in him.
Yeah.
As a person.
Brendan?
I liked. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's going with him.
A couple of quick little hits on that before we leave the Perrin storyline. I like when he meets Lord Luke, and he's like, Lord of what?
Yeah.
Right.
We never got an answer to that, by the way.
Well, it was
that guy's a con man.
Right. Yeah.
He's a straight up con.
He's a hunter for the horn, right? She just happens to be with him because I guess they were all, I don't know, ran into each other or whatever.
And like, whatever. She's got a fake name. Maybe that's a fake name. I'm suspicious of everybody. I was suspicious of the dad, who's like, my sons will stay on the roof and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn this fallen oak tree into a bar. I'm like, no, I don't like this guy.
That's a character from the book whose name I can't remember now, but I saw whatever his name is.
Is that one of the Alcenes?
That's Alcene. Yeah.
That's Jack Alcene.
Alcene, and his sons are Will and Ben. Yeah. It's I liked his little like.
We're getting a rescue mission next episode, probably.
Yeah, but I liked his. Like he did, like his speech was like still a very Perrin-y thing to say. He's like, "I'm afraid of Trollocs. Like, you should be afraid. Like, it's okay.
Stop trying to make us afraid. You should be afraid. There's fucking Trollocs.
Yeah, they ate us. Remember?
Yeah. He was like, like, don't you remember Beltane? Like what?
Which was only like a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
About a year ago.
More than a guy whose intestines were getting eaten in the middle of the square.
Yeah, remember poor Tom who got stabbed with the giant sword in the chest when he was dancing with Wayne?
Yikes.
All that
remember
bad
that
stuff
one Trolloc looked like really sympathetic to his hurt Trolloc friend and then ate him?
Yeah. Remember as far as that, right? Also, we don't know this, right? When after Nynaeve escaped in the first season from the Trolloc, do you think she went back to the town first and then went after? Okay.
Because that's how she knew that they were gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That makes sense.
She was also in dry clothes that weren't covered in blood.
That's true. That makes sense. All right, so they know she's alive, I guess.
Yeah. And they're getting letters, right? In the first episode, she's like, I got a letter from
Egwene.
I think she's the only person sending letters. Oh no, Perrin sent them a letter.
Yeah, Perrin's writing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So
shall we move on to the Aiel Waste then? Or sorry, Tanchico.
Oh, Tish! Oh my God.
Let's do a quick run in Tanchico. Right. I mean, this is really like two scenes. Leandrin and the other Black Ajah look like they're living their best lives. In Tanchico, I love those costume changes.
My God. Jean's costume so awesome.
Amazing.
Yes.
This was a difficult scene without closed captions. This was the one. This was what I was confused about when I was watching it the first time, because I thought that she said this was the guy that got her pregnant.
No.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because her son was like 80 years old. Right. And then the second time I watched it, I said, oh, she said the great grandson of the guy that got me pregnant. Got it. Now it makes sense.
And I don't know, Jack Lunal is just a character from Twin Peaks, right? Like this, like, isn't he just one of like the
I think
like
there's a character in the Wheel of Time named Jack Lunalt.
No, that's yes, but yeah. I was like, that's what threw me. I'm like, before anything happened, when he said his name, I was like, oh, this guy's a dirtbag. Like, it's just
at the altar with a
you didn't know it was a child.
You didn't know how old she was yet.
Yeah, you kind of you got the douche vibe before you even knew that was a little girl. Yeah, we get a little Leandrin history, right, about her being she was married but didn't get a wedding, I guess. She was seems a little bit upset about that part. And then, impregnated.
I don't think that's what she's upset about.
She was like, I didn't even get one of these. Like, that might be the real root
that's
of
not
what
that's not the part,
Leandrin, is that she didn't get a proper wedding. That's what I think.
That's why she came in wearing a veil.
Yes,
she came in wearing a full a wedding dress that was red.
It was very Lydia
Dietz. This is a different thing.
Yeah, it was
Lydia Dietz.
But it was like
Beetlejuice.
It was like a 20th century American wedding dress. It had like
it was awesome.
They were all dressed in like 20th century, like early or late 20th century clothing.
I mean, they are following the rules that the show has established thus far. That if you are a villain in the Wheel of Time and you are not a flat out hideous monster, you have to be fabulous.
They really are. They really are.
You have to have a throne that's a wheel, or an amazing green hat. Because even though you're a bad Aes Sedai now, you're still mostly keeping with your color coding.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I miss Jean's outfit. I gotta watch it again.
Oh, it's the best outfit I've ever seen.
One.
Oh my God.
It's the best one for sure.
It's the best one.
Oh
yeah, 100%. Best one. Oh man, if someone could find that and put it in the Discord chat,
I totally missed it.
And then Leandrin rips a guy's heart out. She does like a Mortal Kombat move.
What
there.
weave is that?
I don't know. It's the heart ripping.
The heart.
Weave.
Yeah, like the Kill Bill thing.
Yeah.
The 5-finger. What is that called?
The
5-finger
death punch.
Punch.
Yeah.
That's a band.
Yeah.
No, what's the move?
It's the 5-point exploding heart.
The Kill Bill thing.
I don't remember if it's 5.
Yeah, it's 5. It's all fingers.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
She hits it with the palm, and you take 5 steps, and then you die.
Yes. Okay.
She Mola Rams that guy.
Yes, that's what she does. She like severs like the aorta and everything. It's all. Screw. And then they just kill everybody in the room.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this for a second too, because I was thinking, right, Naomi's the one who compulsed Sheriam, right? Like, this seems to be her thing.
Yeah, I think she seems to be the compulsion person.
She didn't go that hard on Sheriam though. It was just like a little bit. Even with this girl, she went like a little bit too hard. Well,
she said like it's gonna wipe more than her memory of this, and I was weird because, well, maybe I'm wrong then, because like if she was able to be that fine-tuned with Sheriam, but not with this girl, maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was. Well, I think maybe that was a more experienced person or a more powerful person than that
Maybe.
Well, I thought like I think Leandra was saying like, I don't want her to remember him. Like, if she's gonna wipe his memory out, he's got to go. Like,
yeah, but then she was like glazed eyes.
Right.
Oh yeah, she overdoes
didn't look
it.
like, yeah.
Well, she's also enjoying being
Right.
evil.
And they're evil people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is Leandrin like trying to do some magic ritual to bring her son back or whatever? Like that whole scene where she's drawing the thing on the floor.
No, that's the second half of the memorial symbol.
Yeah,
but it looked like
that was where her son was born.
Okay, so she was drawing the birth symbol.
Yeah,
okay.
and just remembering
Yeah.
Remembering when she was a child prisoner here, and as a very, very, very just teenager giving birth to her son.
In a basement of a dungeon.
Right.
Yeah. And this is actually the end. I forgot. This is actually the end of the episode, this little storyline. But we learn that we kind of figure out a little bit more about that bracelet that was stolen, that it is in fact part of an Adam, and the other half, the collar is in the city, which Nynaeve and Elaine kind of figure out. But then we learn that it's for collaring men, and their plan is to put it on Rand. And then Mogedian's pretending to be a servant in the house.
Sure is.
She gets to close out of quite a few of these episodes, so I hope they keep that going.
This is her second. This is her fourth episode closing in the last. I'm sorry, it's her third episode closing in the last 4 episodes.
Yes. My wife is loving her too as much as I am. So we love Mogedian, and I just want more of her. Keep it coming. All right, so we're out in the IO waste. You guys ready to jump to the waste?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So we learned a little bit about the wise ones, that they can dream walk. There's 2 of them in their clan that can walk, that can dream walk, and the one of them says like, basically. So here's an interesting thing, right? I'm sorry, I want to talk about this a little bit, right? She's looking at the marks on Egwene, and the woman's like, Egwene's like, oh yeah, the woman who did this in my dreams is dead, and Bear, that's the woman's name. I don't think they ever say her name in this episode.
They don't.
They don't.
I just put it in because I was tired of writing the Aiel woman.
Yeah, so that's Bear. She just says, well, dead person couldn't do that. So now we know that that's really because it's land fear. But does Egwene now think that Rena is not dead? What do you think Egwene thinks?
I think she knows.
I took what Bear?
Yeah.
Bair.
Like hair with a B.
Right. I interpreted what Bear was saying as a metaphor.
Oh. Like, yeah, if it's the
if they're hurting you in the right, they're not. She's not. She wasn't saying that the person doing it is still physically alive, even if you, Egwene, personally murdered her. She's saying she's alive because you're keeping her alive in your dream and letting her continue to hurt you.
Oh,
I mean, obviously,
that's not what she means.
Well,
my way is better.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, and again, maybe that is what she means in the show. Who knows? But she says like, when we get to Rodian, I'll try and I'll teach you some things that can protect you, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
So when they get to Ruidian, Lanfear is going to kill her in Egwene's head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
No protecting. Thank you. I like that. It's prediction for later this season.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what, like, I was like, that's a really big mind fuck for Egwene. Like, I'm really curious as to what she thinks is going on.
I'm sure we're going to get into that.
I wonder if we'll find out. We get this interesting scene between Rand and Lanfear, where she gets all kind of like vulnerable with him.
Yeah.
She's talking about how like the Calendar, and there's this other female, powerful Sangreal, and if they use them together, they could destroy the Dark One, which would break her from her oaths, and then they could be together forever. Ooh.
While she's strangling Egwene with one hand, she's like, "I don't even want to have my dark oaths anymore, Rand."
This was the part where I wrote my second note about how there's so much fantasy techno babble. Like the whole part in the Aiel Wastes is fantasy techno babble. It's well, there's this magic doodad that means I don't have to do this magic thing that I magicked the magic 1,000 years ago. And Egwene is this kind of magic person, and I, Bear, who I didn't even say my fucking name, am this kind of magic person. And just like, oh my God.
It's a lot.
There's a lot.
The CSI.
Like they had a dramatic scene so that they could talk about what Land's fucking headband is called.
It's true.
Jesus.
We skipped Land studying the wounds and knowing what weapons.
I feel like we should be making a Criminal Minds reference rather than a CSI reference, given Daniel Henney's CV. But
that's true.
He's like, I could tell already, but like in real life, I know that these.
That was on Criminal Minds.
These are fake.
So he just turns to the camera. I was on Criminal Minds.
So like they think this might be this other clan, the Shaido, right, who are in a blood feud.
Well, wait, I wanted to finish talking about Rand and Lanfear.
Okay. All right.
I just want to.
Okay.
I want to ask a dumb question.
Sure.
Do you think Lanfear's telling the truth?
No.
Okay. I said it was a dumb question. So.
Okay.
I think that.
Let's get back to the crime scene investigation then.
I think that this is the beginning of, like, does Lanfear truly want to be with Rand? I think the answer is yes, but like I don't think like her end game is like be together with Rand is all I want, like, and everything I'm doing is for that. Like, so I put in chat, like, just get me this most powerful weapon possible and everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Like, that was Eric Weiss. Good call. Just get me this super powered weapon and all your dreams will come true. Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of Lanfear's. That's Lanfear's.
I gotta go.
Right. I've said too much.
She runs away like Anna Faris in the Scary Movie.
Instead of using her magical dream disappearing abilities. Do you want to go back and talk about the crime scene, or can we do?
Oh, it's important, I think. Not the crime scene portion, but the Shaido.
The Shaido, right? So there's another clan, right, that has a blood feud with the clan that they're with right now. So that we know there's They
don't explain it. You know what it means.
You know what a blood feud is, yeah. Brendan, do you know what a blood feud is? Do you want us to explain it?
This whole part of the show is explaining things.
Yeah.
Only not actually doing it. It's explaining things in words that they made up.
Well, here's what we learned, right? We learned that
Aiel would never do this, except this other group of special evil Aiel.
Well, that's the interesting part, right? So, right, these look like elf wounds, but no, it's only dark elves use these kind of arrows. Like, shut up. Well, I mean,
I can't believe I wanted them to go back to Perrin.
So
I wanted them to go back to Perrin.
So the words the words spear and sword are techno jargon.
No,
that's not what I mean.
Right. There is a lot.
Well, they probably should have spent more time.
Every goddamn thing about the Aiel they possibly can in this episode.
They probably should have spent more time on this part of the show and cut some out of the.
No, they shouldn't have.
Well, no, it would have come out a little bit more fluid, and it wouldn't have seemed as overwhelming potentially. But yeah, there's a lot going on in this whole section. We learned that the Aiel would never bother, like you said, the Aiel would never bother to Tuatha on. The only thing worse than
not fighting is killing somebody.
Yes, thank you, Tom. So there you go. There's our crime scenes section.
After Avienda says that, they cut to just Rand hearing it, as if to say, here's Rand learning a lesson. And now back to talking about the Dark Elves or whatever the fuck it was.
Dark Elves.
So, like, there's some things in here with all of the very heavy learn about all the Aiel terms, learn about the special magic terms, whatever. Like, there is some show not tell here that I appreciate. They're like, there's water, which they can sense from like really far away because they live in the desert all the fucking time.
I don't think they can sense. I think they know that place has water because they've been there before.
See the water is a hole, it's like a foot wide by maybe a foot and a half. Like that is great. Like that's what you get. And two, like they started to do this in the first episode of this season, but you're seeing it more and more. Like the Aiel, like I guess a lot of cultures, but this is something I think is a real strong trait of them. Like, not only do they get really mad that nobody understands their rules, but like they are very, 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 very clear that their rules are the only rules that anyone should follow.
And I know, Brendan, you're just loving that now. Oh, great, more rules, because we know how much you love those Aes Sedai rules. But, you know, speaking of that, I mean, there's the part in the sweat tent where Moraine just like asks about Ruidian, and the woman's like, how fucking rude are you? Like, without any explanation of to how Moraine was rude. So that must frustrate you too.
Ask about Ruidian.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that didn't bother me. Moraine is rude.
It's true.
I didn't think that was rude.
No, Moraine.
No, but just in general.
Just in general.
She didn't say that. She said, you're nude. You misheard her.
Oh,
she didn't say you're rude. She said you're nude.
She said, how come you're not nude? That's what she said.
Why are you so nude?
I like the whole land encouraging Moraine to get to get some booty.
Yeah.
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 You don't forget how it works. That's what
he's great. And like, and they also did a you, me, huh? Me, you, like terrific.
And we learned that the woman is also a Malkiri, like Lan. She escaped when she was a child, and the Aiel took her in and raised her as her own. So she's not like a true-born Aiel. And she has a nice little interaction with Rand, reminding him of his duty. And thus ends...
Go ahead. Wait, if she was raised with the Aiel, how does she have, as an adult, a full back tattoo from Malkir?
She just got it, I guess.
That's a good question.
Not from when she was a baby.
I imagine she left the waste when she was 18 to go get her tattoo, and then came back.
Oh, so this is another fantasy Rumspringer culture?
Yes, potentially. I don't know.
Well, she can't. They said the Aiel don't have tattoos. That means nobody can get one? Like, well, maybe if it was like a traveling tattoo parlor. Yeah, maybe they like a caravan.
Maybe they let her get one, or maybe like
can do a traveling caravan that can specifically do a specific type and art of tattooing.
She described it to them.
I mean, the Malkiri flag is like Malkir only disappeared however old
years ago.
20
it is, right?
20 plus years
so
ago.
It's like it would be
40 plus years
40,
ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like
he was born when it happened. Like he wasn't
right. Right.
Yeah. So if you go like, can you paint the flag on my back? Like it's like okay.
Yeah, people know what the flag. Yeah, it's.
But still... again, no, Brendan. I think that question is like that. All joking aside, I mentioned the beginning of this four streams ago. That this is a paranoid episode where everything is suspicious, and that's suspicious to me. Like,
yeah,
I noted the same thing.
That didn't occur to me, but you're right.
Like, why would she have that?
Like, we've lost radio contact with Jen.
What's so funny, John?
She's been gone for like a minute.
I don't know. She's like, it looks like her face is gonna cave in. I don't.
We're making it worse. We're making it worse.
It's not even that funny.
So that's why
Okay.
it's so funny, because it's so not funny.
I'll tell you later. It's not even worth saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was
Well,
trying
this
to
is the end of the
interrupt.
episode. Well, this is the end. So
This is the end of our
And-
episode.
of our section of the Brendan section of the episode, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
That was it? Really? We talked about everything?
Well,
We
we
do
have,
this for 2 hours.
we have
Yeah.
more to talk about when Brendan
All
leaves.
right.
I mean, 15 minutes of
Fine.
it was not really anything going on.
Yeah.
But all right, so ratings.
Oh boy.
I
Ratings.
feel like we should rotate around first.
I guess I'll go first because I don't think I went first yet. This was a total book fan episode. I love this episode. I think I liked it better than the first episode, so I'm going to give it a 4.75.
Whoa.
Wow.
I like it.
I audibly
I-
squeed multiple times in this episode. So.
Listen, I like this episode more than I liked episode 2. In fact, when I was watching this, I probably rated episode 2 a little too high.
Me too. I think so too.
I'm going to give this a 4.25. I thought this was. I thought that this did a good job of like the second episode set up what the storylines are going to be for this season. I thought this is a good job making most of them intriguing to me.
Okay.
Okay.
I am gonna go next. Sorry.
Okay.
I love this episode. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
All right. And Brendan.
I'm gonna give it a 4. We ended on a real down note for me because I hated the shit in the Aiel Waste.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man. I should have did that before Tanchico, but
it was not incomprehensible, but it seemed like it was trying to be incomprehensible.
yeah.
But the rest of the episode was terrific. Like I said, Elaida's like immediately and surprisingly a new favorite character for me. She's a very interesting kind of character that I don't think I've really seen before. So yeah, the Aiel stuff did drag it down, but aside from that, it's a really good. I thought it was a really good episode.
Awesome.
Right. Strong. This season's going well.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this season a lot. So let's keep it coming, everybody. Next week. Brendan, thank you once again for
All right,
joining
guys.
us. Apologies for all the streaming issue.
Oh, it affected
Delaying
me
of it.
not at all.
Well,
So,
you was here longer than you probably were going to be here. So
that's fine.
we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
And we're back with our spoiler-filled section of the episode. Spoil,
Oh my God.
spoil away.
Cool.
Who's the eighth Forsaken? Come on, I want to know. I want to know your thoughts.
I am going to throw this out here that there's going to be more than 8 Forsaken. That people are going to, yeah.
Steppen didn't have the whole set.
That that people are just wrong about that shit.
He didn't get all his Forsaken
collect
stats.
them all.
Collect them
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Like they
He
ran
kept
out of
getting
Happy
the same
Meal
one in the
toys.
cereal box.
Yeah.
Yes. And
He had like 4 Grendels.
Oh, God damn it.
his chosen O's.
Wait. I have one more thing to say before I forget. Brendan spot on described Elaida.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
nailed it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they
Oh my
did a
God,
good,
like-
really good job of kind of showing you in
but
this episode
Yeah.
who she is. So
I know, but I thought it was
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
We have him on for a reason, folks. So I think.
Okay, so more than 8.
yeah.
You're saying there's more than 8. So then you don't get to answer this question. Then Jen, do you think? Well, Jen, do you think there's more than 8?
No.
Okay, so then who's the eighth Forsaken? I mean,
Asmodean.
So we are going to get Asmodean, right? We saw the person or the statue with the guitar. Why don't we know of this is his season? This would be his season. So why haven't we gotten him yet?
We're only on the 3rd episode, Joe.
So you think he's going to be in this season still?
Yeah, he doesn't show up in the books until after Roydian.
That's true. All right. So he's going to be in this season. All right. Any thoughts that maybe, so that means there's no Dim and Dread.
Well, that's why I think there's more than 8.
Yeah. Well, what if they combine? I don't know. What if Asmodean is, I don't know. I got nothing else. People were saying, I was talking in chat before in Discord.
No.
with like maybe Ravine is like they combined him with Ravine, but we haven't seen anything with Ravine playing any musical instruments. There's been no mention of him being musical.
Ravine's Ravine.
Yeah,
like he's got enough to do. He can't also be a musician who goes to the waste. Like that's not gonna happen.
This will be interesting to find out in the next few episodes. If we got this. All right. Min's vision, her viewing of Matt. Yeah. Redstone door frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the background, Matt hanging again. But the episode ends with them leaving Tarvalon. Yeah. So he's not going to go through the door frame in the 13th depository?
No, I think he's going to. I think we had said in our 99.4% accurate pre-watching the show episode breakdowns that he was going to go through one in Tanchico. I think he still is. Why
have the one in the White Tower, though, then? Like, why?
Aha! This is why. Because Elaida went through that one.
Yes, we have to talk about that.
Yeah, the bracelet that she has that they call special attention to in the episode but don't give you a really good look at, you do get a really good look at in the Elaida's first day on set video when you start to show things. And that bracelet has snakes and foxes on it.
Does it really?
Yes, it does.
What's with the tremors? Is that something to do with it too? I saw somebody say something like she went for the bracelet, or
I thought she was going to have a foretelling for a second, but it never happened.
Yeah, maybe that gives her, like some people are saying, maybe that gives her visions. Maybe that, like, who knows?
So she's already.
Maybe she doesn't have foretellings. Maybe she just went through there and they told her a couple of things and she pretends she has foretellings. I don't know.
Don't say
I don't know. Why?
Yeah, but I think that there's definitely a thing to that, and I think that the chances are those shakes are the price that she pays, right? Or it could just be, hey, she feels like she's running out of time, or she's starting to physically go, and her last chance to make an impact on the world is now. That could not necessarily be tied into the bracelet. That could just be the fact that she's not young anymore. That these things happen to people. But yeah, I think she has gone through that doorway and has gotten that.
Not recently. You mean like before she left the tower?
Yes. Yeah. I think a while ago.
Yeah.
Look at the picture of the bracelets.
Yeah, thank you, Amis, for posting it.
Yep.
Oh, very important part of costume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is weird, man.
This is really weird. So
it is, but it's if you're and so by the way, here's something else. There's a lot of chain reactions to things I have in here. If there's a door frame in Tarvalon and one in Tanchico, then there isn't one in Tyr
or Ruidian,
right? Yeah. So, how
does this affect Rand?
How does this affect Rand? Well, does Rand go through one? Does he not? Who knows? No. How does this? I think, and we mentioned this in another thing, right? I think if you don't if you're going to Tyr later, you're also not getting the stuff that happens in the Stone of Tyr. I don't think Berylline's going to be on the show. And I think that Alana is going to fill the Berylline role for Perrin. And I wouldn't be surprised if instead of bonding Rand, she bonds Perrin.
So, I thought about that when she first showed up there, that she was, maybe that's one of the theories, is that she's looking to bond Perrin.
Yeah, they have that conversation, and she's like,
but she left before he even said he was going to the Two Rivers.
I don't know if that's why she's there, but I think that's what she's going to do. She speaks specifically about, she needs someone, Ivan balanced out the fire that her and Maxim are, that he was calm and cool, and I think that that's going to happen. And I think that that's going to be your weird love triangle for the show.
Okay. That's interesting.
That's all I got on those things.
So, Melindra, right? I mean, she's going to be a dark friend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to keep that part, I think. Where they're going with her and Lan, though, I'm kind of curious.
In fact, until somebody else tells me that she's Malkieri, I don't even believe that she is. Until another Aiel that not mentions it to somebody else, she could be lying about everything.
But then she's been okay. I don't know.
Right? I mentioned it to Brendan without trying to give it away, but why would I trust literally anything that she says?
I don't know. It's a good question. But I mean, that's because we know she's a dark friend, but nobody else, I guess, knows. I don't think I have any other. Do I have other spoiler stuff here? No, I mean, they put a lot of cool stuff in there, like the whole Mandarb thing. That was great that they put that in there. I was a little pleasantly surprised about that. Lord Luke. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Lord Luke.
Lord Luke. Is
this going to be Lord Luke, or is this just like, hey, we'll just throw this Lord Luke in there as to be in the show and be kind of a jerk or something?
If this isn't Lord Luke, then there isn't
a
Slayer. That won't be happening.
That's what I mean.
This is, this is him or it's cut. I don't know why they would put this guy in here if not for that.
Well, I don't remember. Who kills the Gray Man in the tower?
Shuriam.
Shuriam kills him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, isn't there one in her bed or something too? Isn't there
there's a yeah, she's
gets in her bed?
There's a different one in her bed though. Right there, because there was wasn't there a female Gray Man or something too? Was it a male and a female Gray Man?
Name.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I guess Perrin is the one who killed that Gray Man?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Why would she use a dagger and not the one power? Gray men aren't immune to the one power, right?
Think that it was her?
Because
is it a power wrought dagger that killed him? Does it have to be power wrought?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But why
the other one with his sword?
Why does Moghedien keep sending Gray men after Nynaeve?
Don't know. But it seems pretty clear that's what she's doing.
But that wasn't Jacob Carradine. So
was
he going after?
I thought it was.
I thought the one
the one that just died was Jacob?
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah. I couldn't really tell, but I just assumed it was
Jacob. Oh, I never even thought
that. Not Jen. Jai Chima.
What? No.
Jai Chima.
No. I don't think that was him. They gave him a whole scene and a name. Why would they just throw it away and I don't think that's him.
Holger saying not according to the credits.
Yeah, no.
There we
go. Yeah, I don't know who she sent him at. I don't know if she is sending Gray. She must be because she's. Well, I don't know. I'm talking myself in circles.
She says
I'm not sure.
She's the only one. Lanfear says she's the one who can create them.
That's what Lanfear said to Moiraine and Lan.
Well, yeah. I mean, she seemed afraid, but she's a pretty good actress.
Yeah. So,
maybe she's. Oh, maybe it was going after Elaine, and maybe Ravine was the one told Maggie to send that.
Right. They just she tackles Elaine like it almost hits Elaine. Like it's going for Elaine, I think.
That's true. She does save her, right? Nynaeve jumps, pushes her out of the way. So yeah, maybe Ravine is, because we know that him and Moghedien are working together. Maybe he.
But the Gray Man only goes after Nynaeve in episode 1.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these.
Not trying to kill anyone else.
I don't think Moghedien has any reason to send a Gray Man after Nynaeve.
I don't know.
Right? Yeah,
I mean, there's right. There's going to be an interaction with them in this season.
Definitely.
We'll find out. I hope.
because she's the most powerful channeler in 1,000 years. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. Anything else you can think about? Spoiler that we didn't talk about yet.
Just on the Lanfear thing, right? Like, yeah, kill the Dark One. No, like, to be free. Yes, to maybe be the Dark One, right? Like where I think we're starting to get a sense of what her actual goals are here. And she's someone who's always dreamt big.
Yep, and that's what Natasha said to us in the interview. Go bigger.
Go bigger.
That's the advice she would give Lanfear.
Right.
So the reinforcements are Pad and Fane.
Oh.
Nice. And I was gonna say, Jen, do you think if Faya leaves, she goes to get Tam and Abel? Like that's what comes. Like, do you think they come back at the end of the episode with the Terran fairy folk?
No, the Saldeans are coming.
I know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think they're in this season.
I actually don't think she's.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think she's going to leave.
I don't think Tam and Michael Hatton and Christopher Scherf are going to be in this season.
I didn't think that Valdo was going to be here because I figured Pad and Fane. So now we have Dane, Fane, Eamon, Valda.
Eamon.
And if he survives, maybe one of them will die. Maybe he'll die. And then also Bayer is in this season.
That's right. I've forgotten about that. Bayer was cast.
So maybe Bayer and Pad and Fane are coming together, because it wouldn't just be like Fane commanding his own.
No, you're right. You're probably right. Bayer's probably going to be with Fane.
There's too many white cloaks. Somebody has to die.
But Chi-Chi.
But he was a totally separate.
But my point is, like, we thought we had a whole storyline for him. He's just turned to a gray man in one scene.
Yes.
Right? Bayer could just be a guy that has a name. He doesn't have to be a character.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's probably coming with Fane. He's just going to be like a named white cloak.
What's his name? The namekeeper from Camelin.
Yeah, he's
Basil Gill.
He's Basil Gill. Yeah.
So
Bayer, fetch my sword.
That's all you need. for the folks.
Fetch the dagger.
Yeah, I think
there's a lot here. Oh man, there's so much being set up here. I'm just like wondering if all of this stuff is going to pay off or not.
I'll tell you, right? So we've been told in many interviews,
including
the interviews or something, that episode 4 is the Gordian episode.
Mm.
And I have to say, I was really surprised that like they didn't get there yet.
Yeah, that they were like set it up.
Yeah, I thought it was really going to be like, you're going in, and then that's what it's like. Yeah,
I think it's probably gonna. Well, here's the thing, right? Didn't Ruark say, "I'll meet you at Imri Stand"?
Yes.
So I don't remember where that is.
Where they're camping now, and he's just going to meet them in the morning and be there for the next day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that could be it. I was wondering, like. Yeah, how
you're gonna have to get the Shido in the beginning of that episode. Like, there's gonna be a lot of stuff before they go in next episode.
Well, yeah, you kept saying that you thought the whole episode was going to be Ruidian.
Yeah, I really did. Because there's so much shit that's supposed to happen.
It's going to be like 15 to 20 minutes. All of that stuff.
I gotta tell you, I feel like that's gonna be a little weak. If Rand seeing all of his past lives and Moraine seeing possible futures.
7 Rands, we know that, right?
Right.
So there'll be 7, but they're not going to. They're not going
to be long.
Yeah, man, it's going to be if they spend too much time on each. It's just going to be too long, and it's going to be too long and too boring and too confusing. I think they want to try to keep it like streamlined and very easy to understand, but also make it, epic.
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out in a few days. On Thursday.
I have a question about when Nynaeve and Elaine are talking about the bracelet and the Sean Chen, and Elaine's like, Tanchico's near Farm.
Yes.
Where the Sean Chen came from, hundreds or whatever, thousands of years
before they left.
Yeah, but what is she talking about?
I don't know.
What
I think she's basically saying like they came back to Farm. Maybe And Fam's near Tanchico. Maybe they launched from Tanchico, and that's where they.
No, she seems to.
She said it's.
She seems to know
Fam is
that,
where they came from. It sounds like she's like saying.
No, she said Tanchico is where they originally left the Westlands from. Like she's saying that Sean-Chen
near Fam.
Yeah, that's where they came back to Fam. They came back home and they landed at Fam,
okay,
which
so this is
near
just a new thing that they're making up.
Yes,
for her
I think they're
for them
making
to
up.
figure this.
Yes, that's
out.
how it, right. The Adams created in Sean-Chen, right?
Yeah, but why did we have? Why I don't even understand why that was necessary for them to come to that conclusion.
I don't know.
Because there has to be some sort of. Because they're making it's never explained why the sand bracelets exist or how they got to Tanchico. It's just something he never addresses and nobody even asks.
Well, I don't think you really need to know how it goes.
Right, the other part of this is in Tanchico. Okay.
Right. Yeah, but like they
in a museum that exists here, like
right. Like in the books, they find out that it's there through Tel'aran'rhiod, which they don't know how to be in yet, right?
Mm.
So like they have to find another reason for them to get there. And they're like, well, they're already on the logic detective path. Let's just make them make another logical leap and say like,
well, yeah, it's not logical until they change the backstory. That's
right, right. But we knew they were doing that anyway.
What are they talking about?
Yeah,
right, like
yeah, it was so quick because the gray man came right after that. So I was just like, what is she what is she saying? I don't even get this.
Yeah.
Right, so they changed it. Something new.
I feel like though, with all the info dumps in this episode, that they could have just left that out and that didn't need to be like, here, we're going to Tanchico because that's where Leandrin's going. Right. And the Black Aja are going. So that's probably where the other half of this is. And that's why they're going there. Like, right? Like that's all you need. You don't need to throw in this other bit of information that they literally gloss over like in one line, like Jen says, and then the gray man attacks, and you probably forget. Most people probably forgot what she said.
Yeah.
I will say this: it makes more sense to have a male Adam than like, and then someone go, well, I probably can make these for girls too. Than like the reverse. I guess like it makes more sense to be like, hey, we need something to control these insane people. But and then just kind of make a version where we can control ourselves.
Yeah. So, no, you're right. 100%. I agree. I mean, that's something.
Are there going to be 2 bracelets? Are you going to need a second bracelet to make it?
I don't know. That just depends on how they're going to write the story going forward. If they're going to make it with 2 people, then yes. It doesn't matter. I don't think it really matters.
Okay.
And it doesn't really pay off in the story. Like, it's not like in the books, you really needed it to be 2 people. Because what is it? Is it Elsa and Semiraj are the ones who put it on? And Elsa doesn't need to be there. And
right.
So I don't think it matters. Unless it's going to be like a thing where like they fight over who gets to wear the bracelets, like which 2 of them get to wear it. But I mean, you could fight over who one person is, but if it's assumed that it's going to be Leandrin or we don't even know, who are they working for? Like, this isn't something they all just came up with on their own, right? The Black Aja, somebody had to have set this in motion, right? Forsaken, you think, who's behind this? Or do you think anybody's behind this?
Well,
I should have asked that to Brendan. That would have been a good question for him.
Yeah, everyone seems to think Leandrin's the boss. You know? So I don't know if...
Yeah, and she went to this house that was like her house.
Yeah, it might just be this is her play.
And then Moghedien takes over.
So she finds out about these bracelets on her own? Or with Naomi, maybe. Well, no, Naomi... I don't know. Is this the first time Naomi's seeing this stuff? Like studying the bracelets and whatnot? Like, because she doesn't seem to know that it's a male Adam, right?
Yeah, she finds out now. How does Leandrin know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
somebody's pulling the strings here, I think.
I thought that the person that Jaichun was supposed to find was Leandrin. And the fact that she's in there makes me think that might be true.
Okay.
Like when she goes, I want you to find somebody for me.
So maybe there's a gray man in the background of that scene following them through the marketplace.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then she finds the house. Or it's like him following them.
Gotta look again.
Can't see him.
Well,
See him.
Mogedi's probably just peeking around in people's dreams.
Also true.
Yeah. Then why would she need Jai Chain?
To find Rand, I guess. Maybe she can't get in Rand's dreams because Lanfear's protecting them, or like he doesn't know how to ward his dreams at this point. Like that's not even a thing at this point. I mean, maybe we'll learn about it with the Aiel, but
Yeah,
maybe
like
Lanfear's protecting his dreams.
More like blocking anybody else from messing with his dreams.
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Right.
Like she's got some
like
sort
mafia
of
protection.
Yeah. Except he doesn't have to pay up for it.
Tanchico is nuts. I'm like, really, I'm excited about what's gonna happen because I don't know what. Like when that scene happened in the house, I was like, what in the world? Like what's going on? I know, whatever. It's just like a way to get a house.
Yeah.
But there.
And give
it's like off the walls. I can't wait.
And flesh out Leandra's backstory a bit more.
I also love Nynaeve and Matt. I love Nynaeve and Matt. I love that Nynaeve is being so nice to Matt, like a normal human being who are friends, because this is like nice and normal. And I don't want, I'm enjoying that they're actually all friends. And he's just like, no, I'm coming with you. Okay. Like, it wasn't like no, Matrim, you wool-headed idiot. Right. Like, we don't have to hear any of that. It's just like, all right, come.
Right.
Yeah.
And Elaine's like, I didn't even tell my brothers.
But they were like, all right, whatever, he's coming. Let's go.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're friends and they just like go places together. This is interesting and fun. I like it.
Right. And like, he's like, I'm staying here because of you.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't just leave him.
I'm not staying here with Galan.
Well, she was going to leave him. She went there to say goodbye to him. And he was like,
she said she didn't ditch him.
Right. Yeah. But I think like that's part of what's like, not like her not saying like, you have to stay, you bull-headed.
Well, she didn't ask him to cut. Like she could have said, we're leaving. Do you want to come with us? She just like, we're leaving, Matt. Sorry. I'm sorry, Matt.
It's a dangerous mission. Yeah.
Yeah. But he stayed there for her. I mean, you would at least, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Has anyone been called wool-headed in the show yet?
No, I don't think we have any wool-headed sheep herders, which is a little saddening.
Yeah. You do get Rand gets called a sheep herder a couple of times this season.
Yes. I was going to say something now. I lost it.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't know if was it back with Leandrin, I think.
Was this her awesome?
Oh, yeah. I was going to talk. My wife had to rewind it because when they're showing them walking in the streets of Tanchico, there's just one guy who doesn't have a shirt on. And he kind of like strokes his breast in the background.
I love Tanchico. Tanchico's wild.
My wife's like, ew. I was like, what? She's like, that guy just like rubbed his breast. And I was like, what? And she reminded, this is the guy with topless and he kind of like strokes his breast as they walk by. Go see it. Tanchico's wild.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
11:25.
Any
a long one.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of spoilery stuff in here that I do want to talk about. So
I feel like there's more, but
they're setting so much stuff up here. I think we're going to find out a lot in the next few episodes. Trying to see if there's anything else I have, but I don't think so. So I will concede this. Galad's becoming a little bit more insufferable now that we've heard him talk a bit more. So
Amico.
It's Amico,
can't stand that.
Not Amico.
Can't stand that. No.
Like AA, MCO.
MCO. No, I don't like it.
Amco. Shall we wrap it up here?
Sure.
All right. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Oh, and Blue Sky. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so be sure to go to our YouTube page to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to the episode. Thank you all for sticking with us who are here live with all the issues we have. We will try to get that fixed before we have another live stream, which probably won't be for like another year plus anyway. So any last words, Jen and Tom?
Let's go into Rodian.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.